Hey guys, good morning. It's Nick.
Tommy.
Hey, I'm back from India, China. It's been a while. But yeah, thanks guys for bearing with us in our another hiatus. It's been really cool to see, even though I've been away, that Tommy's been putting out content, little short clips here and there. And yeah, I saw that we had 37 subscribers on YouTube, which is amazing because, at least for me, like I haven't pushed like, oh, definitely subscribe to us and let's get this going. But yeah, I really think that maybe we had 10 or 17, 15, 17, maybe a month or two ago.
Yeah.
And then somehow we got 37. So yeah, that's a huge praise. So yeah, thanks guys for listening. We're excited to bring out more content and go forward with Genesis.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Any updates from your past month? Things you want to share?
Not too much. Just trying to stay busy. Working a bunch and just trying to get off training. So
just try to see what this lighting's like. Okay, that's a little bit better. Yeah.
Cool.
All right, we're in Genesis 5, last chapter. I listened to it again. I think that's our best episode. Just very genuine discovery of chapter 4, and not just Cain and Abel, but Lamech and his story. So it's really cool to learn with you guys and just be inspired by his word. So yeah, we have chapter 5. Hopefully we can also draw little nuggets of inspiration, even though it might seem like a dry chapter. But yeah, we can try to dig in and see what's up. Do you want to read for us?
Sure. Do you want me to start to go to verse 12? Or...
Sure, yeah.
All right, Genesis 5, from Adam to Noah. This is the written account of Adam's family line. When God created mankind, he made them in the likeness of God. He created them male and female and blessed them, and he named them mankind when they were created. When Adam had lived 130 years, he had a son in his own likeness, in his own image, and he named him Seth. After Seth was born, Adam lived 800 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Adam lived a total of 930 years, and then he died. When Seth had lived 105 years, he became the father of Enosh. After he became the father of Enosh, Seth lived 807 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Seth lived a total of 912 years, and then he died. When Enosh had lived 90 years, he became the father of Kenan. After he became the father of Kenan, Enosh lived 815 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Enosh lived a total of 905 years, and then he died.
Yeah, a lot of numbers there. I think the things that stand out, I guess verse 2, that he calls them mankind. God calls them mankind.
Yes, or even just verse 1, when God created mankind, he created them in the likeness of God. So right there, he's just telling us like he created us in his own image, each one of us individually. So
true. And then in verse 3, the next generation is in Adam's image.
Right.
And it's still reflecting God's image.
Right.
So yeah, a small detail, but also still special, that God intended to create us, and then he created us with a purpose in his image, having the likeness of God, so that creator and endorsing us and inviting us to be like him and up to his potential, and then how we live, and then how our children, our generations live after us, it's all to reflect his glory. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, just subtitle to that mankind, it says Adam, Hebrew Adam, so yeah, and then Adam means man, so
right.
Just making sense of all the language and the words. And yeah, we have some generations, we have a lot of years and numbers. Adam to Seth to Enosh. It might seem dry, but I think it's also really special that God wants to record this, and he's not just pulling like mythology out of air. He's giving numbers, and if people want to dig into the numbers, there is something traceable here. This subtitle is Adam to Noah, but then we know that there's even accounts from the lineage from like David to Jesus. So it's important. Yeah, if it's not just all about theology and believing, but there's some concrete history here.
Right. And like you were saying earlier, if you were creating a story where you're just making it up, there would be no purpose to put all these numbers in here, and let alone like make them random. So clearly there's some history and historical fact to it, and I think that's important when people would like try to pick apart things in the Bible.
True. Yes. And if someone did make this up, yeah, props to them for whatever random number generator.
Yeah.
Verse 12. When Kenan had lived 70 years, he became the father of Mahalalel. After he became the father of Mahalalel, Kenan lived 840 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Kenan lived a total of 910 years, and then he died. When Mahalalel had lived 65 years, he became the father of Jared. After he became the father of Jared, Mahalalel lived 830 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Mahalalel lived a total of 895 years, and then he died. When Jared had lived 162 years, he became the father of Enoch. After Enoch, Jared lived 800 years, had sons and daughters. Altogether, Jared lived a total of 962 years, and then he died. It's all the same, but anything that's going on?
No.
Yeah.
Just more lineage.
I was gonna say something. Kenan. Yeah, the numbers of years. So.
They're decreasing for sure. Yeah.
We said last episode. I said a theory. It's interesting that Adam he lives a full 930 years, verse 5. And then these first few generations, like Enoch is living 962 years. But they lived so long at first, and then we'll keep reading the chapter, but glimpse ahead, like Lamech lives 777 years, so it's possibly a little bit shorter, and we know that we live now up to 100. So it's interesting to think that since Adam, he had the first sin, we don't know of his other sins,
right?
But there's all this theology that sin causes destruction, it causes decay. And it's interesting to think that as humanity progresses and gets more sinful, that possibly the lifespan to live on Earth is shorter because the body is cursed. They can't thrive as much. So just interesting. I think that's interesting, and it's a cool correlation. If we get to heaven and there's validation, like that made sense, and it was supposed to be perfect. Everyone's supposed to be living forever, but then once that sin was introduced, then there's gradual decay, and then if we sin more, I think there's more and more decay and destruction. So we had Jared, we have Enoch, verse 21. Enoch had lived 65 years. He's the father of Methuselah. After Methuselah, Enoch walked faithfully with God 300 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Enoch lived a total of 365 years. Enoch walked faithfully with God. Then he was no more because God took him away. So that one's different, that God took him up. He didn't die a natural death.
Right.
Kind of like Elijah, and then I guess Jesus getting resurrected, that he can take them away.
Right.
But that's interesting that he
just decided to take him
right.
and not have him die naturally or whatever.
Right, yeah. I've heard that before from my New Jersey pastor, that God knows our time on earth, and that when he's ready to take you back, he'll take you back.
Right.
But I guess if whatever happened in these 300 years of Enoch, where he walked faithfully, there was not that there wasn't a need, but God was satisfied to just bring him back into his presence. Do you want to read 25 to...
When Methuselah had lived 187 years, he became the father of Lamech. After he became the father of Lamech, Methuselah lived 782 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Methuselah lived a total of 969 years, and then he died. When Lamech had lived 182 years, he had a son. He named him Noah, and said, "He will comfort us in the labor and pain, painful toil of our hands caused by the ground the Lord has cursed." After Noah was born, Lamech lived 595 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Lamech lived a total of 777 years, and then he died. After Noah was 500 years old, he became the father of Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Really quick, I want to go back to Lamech living a total of 777 years.
Mm-hmm.
Just because 7 in the Bible is symbolic of like completeness or wholeness. But I looked up like specifically 777, and it like basically Wikipedia is saying like the threefold perfection of the Trinity. So I'm wondering like why Lamech has that number specifically tied to him versus like, you know, other ones. That one stands out to me more than like all the others. Not that there's really anything maybe significant there, but that caught my attention.
Right. Who knows? Yeah. And I did do the math check. So yeah, all these years when they say that Lamech lived 182, he had a son. That son, after that son was born, Lamech lived 595 years after that. So yeah, 182 plus 595 is 777. So those numbers check out.
I'm wondering if it has any significance because of like Noah. Because Noah's maybe the next big character in the Bible.
Right.
And so the whole 777 being like perfection and completeness of the Trinity, like, I don't know.
I really don't know. And then, yeah, if there is significance with Noah, they're saying after he's exactly 500, he's a father to Shem, Ham, Japheth. 500 seems pretty even and significant, a half millennia. So
it was 5 years before the flood. He died 5 years before the flood.
Lamech did?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
At 777.
Because they're saying at 182, he has Noah. Noah's 500. So 682. Wait.
Huh. Maybe
maybe
not.
not.
Never mind. Disregard.
Okay. Anyway, some of these last few verses are a little bit different. Because, yeah, we have Methuselah, who is the oldest in the Bible. He dies when he's 969. And then we have Lamech. It notes that 29, the significance of Noah's name. He will comfort us in the labor and painful toil of our hands, caused by the ground the Lord has cursed. So yeah, we don't know what's happening. I counted from Adam to Noah. All those generations, they add up to 1,056 years. And I'm sure a lot is happening in that millennium, where there's more sins and more downfall. So it's interesting that Lamech acknowledges that, and he names Noah that he will comfort this curse, this labor and painful toil. From the curse of Adam, and then even on some level the curse of Cain. They both curse the ground.
I did find something on the whole Lamech thing, and there's way too much to it, but I'll just like read the one little thing that it talks about. It says, the stories of Cain and Lamech talk about vengeance, retaliation, retribution, and consequence. Jesus speaks of forgiveness beyond what anyone had ever considered before, 70 times 7. So many commentaries understand this is to mean that Jesus was telling Peter he should forgive his brother a limitless number of times when he says like the 700.
Yeah, this was last chapter. There's 2 different Lamechs.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like...
There's a Genesis 4 Cain's lineage Lamech.
Gotcha.
Yeah, when we talked last time about the forgiveness. And then this is like Adam, Seth.
Okay, that makes more sense.
To this other Lamech, yeah. But yeah, it's interesting that they both have 7s in their stories. The other Lamech wanted 77 times vengeance if he died for his...
And this one lives a total of 777 years.
Yeah. It's interesting, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah, we know that Noah's coming. We know that story. But yeah, we think all of the Bible is important. And I think, God intended to let us know that it's not all just story and mythology, but that there is a lineage to be tracked, and that there are generations and
Absolutely.
Any other thoughts or questions we can draw from this chapter?
I think that's all I have.
Yeah, I think as Christians, we might think Genesis is a fable and this is so out of the ordinary, these numbers. But if you are a Christian and you believe, no, we said episode 1 that his word is inspired, it's true, it's completely authoritative and true, and that if God says this, it is true. And if there's any question in our hearts that I don't believe this, then maybe a application question is, can I try to grasp this and try to process this? So yeah, I think it's cool to make sense of the degradation of sin and of life
Yeah.
in response to sin, make that correlation, if that helps. And then yeah, we'll dig into Noah, but for me, I know a lot of things with like not tectonic, but fossil records and layers, and people, scientists, they vocalize about their carbon dating, and it has to be millions of years, and dinosaurs and all this. But the thing about Noah and that worldwide flood, this is how I make sense of it, is that gigantic flood that was for 40 days that destroyed all other humans, it shifted the Earth's plates, and it's causing rise and fall. So like all the sediments are shifting. It's chaos. It's just a chaotic world, and then they're falling. So I think for me, like how the Bible makes sense of that, it includes that story, but I think it's saying that all the fossil data, it's not accurate because it had this anomaly flood,
Right.
and everything's settling. So I don't know. Yeah. So
It's a good point.
yeah, if that's interesting to you guys, yeah, you can Google it more. But this is how I, am making sense of Genesis, story by story, and I think it's still believable. And if it's not believable, I think it's worthy of looking deeper into.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right, I think that's all for now. Yeah, we've ran our episodes before to 25 minutes, but yeah, I think it's cool that this is fine to do a 17-minute episode.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then we'll see if we want to just do a back-to-back. We'll go into Noah maybe in the next 10 minutes or so. But any closing remarks? You want to say anything? Yeah.
No, just kind of going off what Nick said, like ask yourself application-wise, like how can I come to better understand or comprehend this in the Bible? Because we are still humans. Doesn't always mean we're supposed to comprehend what like God has planned for us. So maybe something like this story is sometimes harder for our earthly, humanly brains to grasp. But ask yourself, how much do I believe in God, and like to what lengths am I going to try to better understand a passage like this?
Yeah, for sure. Yes. Yeah, and I think it is dry and it's boring, but like if everything's true, and I said this before, like if God were in heaven and then there's like the playback, and then we ask like, oh, what were the signs? But it's like literally a chapter here, like telling you all these people to
It's
Noah.
data.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Like it's data with numbers. So
yeah, and it's like if unbelievers, hopefully, if not, hopefully they are there, in heaven with us if this is all true.
right.
But for those who doubt and they don't believe, it's unfortunate that we do have Bibles, we have the internet, and everything's readily in front of us, that we could just have a curiosity and learn more about that perspective. And if it's true, like how sad that the truth is right there,
Right.
staring at them. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We will see you guys soon. Yeah.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
Nice.
That did not stop the video.